Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Paul Brown Show. This evening, my guest, he's a professional boxing promoter up in Charlotte, North Carolina. His name is Jonathan Nazeer.
Yeah, that's it, man.
How you doing there, sir?
I'm doing well.
Thank you for coming on the show.
No, thank you for the invitation. It's great to be here.
Jonathan Nazeer, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, wow, man. I am a native of Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay.
Grew up in Greensboro, attended Shaw University up in Raleigh, and I've been here in Charlotte for about 12 years. So I love it here, man. This is a ripe city, and it's growing, and it's great for boxing.
You're a professional boxing promoter. How long have you been doing that?
Wow, man. Well, we just started as a licensed promoter here in the state of North Carolina. We held our very first professional bout back in August that featured Hector Camacho Jr. On his comeback trail. And now we're getting geared up for a new series that we've just started with our Thursday Night Fight series.
Describe Thursday Night Fight series.
Okay. Well, Thursday Night Fights was really created to really showcase, Charlotte and the regions, some of their best talent. We are a Pro-Am series. So we feature 5 amateur bouts and 5 pro fights. And we're looking at the second or first Thursday of every month.
What made you decide to want to do that?
As far as the Thursday Night Fight series is concerned? Well, I think what happens is you get a lot of great fighters out of this area, but unfortunately, as they're building their records, they have to go all over the country in order to get fights. And many of them, what happens, they go and they end up losing just simply because they don't have the hometown cheers. And so, I've never fought professionally myself, but, when I talk to fighters, they can tell you when you're down on the cards, to hear, your family, your friends, your own cheering section, it's motivational to them, and it allows them to kind of keep pushing back. So we wanted to be able to showcase that talent right here in Charlotte and bring fighters in to fight some of the best talent that we have here in North Carolina. And obviously these guys still have to travel, but we really wanted to try to create a fight scene here to keep these guys, keep these guys working.
Why is so important that the community gets out and support this boxing event? Well,
I tell you what, you've got two opportunities here. On the amateur side, many of these guys, these are young guys coming up through the ranks. Many of them quite possibly could be Olympic gold medalists. When you look at some of the greater fighters, your Ali's, these guys went through the amateur ranks and hit the highest level of amateur fighting, either through Golden Gloves or through Olympic gold. So we wanted to be able to showcase that talent, also keep these guys motivated, keeping some of these guys off of the street, to be quite honest. There's many, as a father of 3 boys, there's several things that these kids could be doing, and it's always inspiring when you go into the gym and know that these kids could be anywhere else in the city, up to no good, but instead they choose to get inside of the ring. So that's one side of it. 2, from a professional standpoint, we really want to get these professional fighters going. We've got talent right here, could very well be the next Mayweather, the very next De La Hoya, the very next Christy Martin, who's from right here. These guys could reach that level. And so to get an opportunity to showcase, many of us have never get the opportunity to go out to Vegas and see, a professional fight. But we try to bring all the glitz and glams of a Vegas-style fight right here in your backyard.
We have professional football, basketball. We have the baseball that just came in the league. Now we're starting up with the boxing.
Yeah.
And we're excited.
Oh, so am I.
Man,
so am I. To be a part of what, not only what the city of Charlotte and the region is doing, but to be one of, and I'm just one of several other promoters in the marketplace. I think we try to do it a little differently, and I think our intentions may be a little different, but at the end of the day, they're fight fans right here. We see it, when they have a major pay-per-view event, man, when you can go out to any bar in this city and you have to pay $30 to get in, and then, you know, just to see the fight. So we know that fight fans exist. The problem that's happened in years past is maybe the competition hasn't always been there, or it just hasn't been promoted enough on a consistent basis. And that's kind of what we want to do, is really kind of paying homage to the old promoters from upstate, of where they just rent out a hall, and, you know, every week you can kind of count on, you know, some decent bouts. So we want to do something very similar and try to get the fan base behind it. You know, one of the great things about North Carolina, and specifically in Charlotte, we have such a high Hispanic population. And quite honestly, man, it's when you talk to any Latino, soccer, boxing, man, they almost run neck and neck. So it gives us an opportunity also for some cultural diversity as well, and showing both sides of professional sports. I mean, you know, we love the Panthers, we love the Hornets, you know, we love the Knights, the new independent soccer team, that sort of thing. But now it's just another great sporting event to add to the mix.
Your first event was in August.
Correct.
What positive things did you see? Did you get from that?
Man, let me tell you, we've gotten so much good feedback from just that one bout. One, I think it's been almost a decade since Charlotte really hosted any big name fights, not since Calvin Brock fought.
Correct.
So to bring Camacho Jr. in, everybody knows, you know, 3-time, you know, world champion Camacho Sr. But Camacho did a great job on his comeback trail, and to be able to host that type of event, we also had an opportunity to see, you know, some up and coming talent. William McElroy, who is now a 7-0 welterweight out of Detroit, who we have the opportunity to promote, who trained under Emmanuel Stewart. He had an opportunity to be on that particular card. So, you know, it's good things really kind of coming out of that particular fight. Ray Edwards, who's now a 9-0 heavyweight, former NFL defensive end, fought on that particular card. Another guy who, you know, as his career progresses, you know, we could have said that we got an opportunity to see him right here in Charlotte. So we want to continue to do that. You know, we want to continue to highlight the great talent that we have here in Charlotte from our amateurs and professionals, and then we want to bring in, you know, some good fights as well, and you know, just continue to grow the sport.
Tell the viewing audience the process that it take from the idea of wanting to have a fight to actually having that fight.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you. Had I known it would be this difficult, I probably would have chose something different.
Why'd you say that?
It's a tough business, man. I mean, you got to realize, and I say this, the state of North Carolina has done a really good job as far as you know, their structure. Correct. As it relates to the North Carolina Boxing Authority. A lot of promoters have stayed away from North Carolina, and particularly because this is not a gaming state. Historically, some of the reasons why you see big name fights in Vegas and Atlantic City and Tunica and some of these other cities is because of the casinos. You know, quite honestly, most of the casinos buy out the tickets from the promoters.
Correct.
Promoter has no other choice but to win. So there's a little bit of a gamble when you're not in those traditional gaming states. You've got to have money for bonding. You know, you've got to carry insurance on not only your company but for the fighters. You've got to pay fighters. You've got to pay for venues. You got to pay for marketing. I mean, this is a daunting task, and that's before a person even walks through the door. So you always take a little bit of a risk of knowing whether or not, you know, you're going to win at the end of the night and stay in the black. So we've tried to do little things from a financial perspective, from a marketing perspective, to really safeguard that, and trying to find an even balance of getting good talent. No one wants to go out to see a fight where, you know, they're 5 or 6 first-round knockouts. You know, people want to come out and they want to see those fights go the distance if they can go the distance, and really see, kind of going back to our old primal roots, man. We want to see two gladiators in the ring. And so, it's trying to learn both sides of the business. There's the fight side and, meeting great fighters. I heard you had Centerio on the show. Correct. I think he's going to be a great up-and-coming fighter. Has an incredible story, but there's also the economics of the business as well. And so after spending close to 20 years in the marketing business, that's the side of it that intrigues me a lot, is just the marketplace that's surrounding around boxing in itself. So it's a tough business, and we've got some licks and wounds to show for it. But we're in it for the long haul, and we're going to bring big name boxing back to Charlotte. That's our goal.
Do you do the matchmaking for your bouts, or do you have someone that does that for you?
Yeah, we personally, as far as our company is concerned, we've contracted out with some great matchmakers throughout not only here in North Carolina, but we've also called on a few matchmakers from outside of the state, and they've done a pretty good job with helping us find good talent. We're young right now, and so to be quite honest, we're not going to get. We're not getting the 20 and 20 guys going up against either 20 and 0 and 20 and 0 guys. What we're doing right now is we're really trying to grow the marketplace. So a lot of our kids have less than 10 fights under their belt. We try to keep the night entertaining. That's where you're going to get to see 10 bouts in one night. They're going to be shorter round fights, that sort of thing. And we're looking for the right guy that we can build up. Now, obviously, our goal is to host another Rumble in the city, which is what we did back in August. We'll do those on a quarterly basis, and we'll probably bring in some bigger name talent and some guys with, some more than 10 fights under their belt, and as they're growing and building their career up too. So we're going to continue to work with matchmakers and fighters from across the state, man. So if you're a fighter out there and you're looking to either move out of the amateur ranks and go into professional, or to start your professional career, man, we would love to put you on one of our cards. And so our goal is to be able to promote these fights every single month. So there's more than several opportunities for you to fight.
So how will someone get in contact with you?
Oh, wow. They can go to our website, which is www.jknboxing.com, and reach out to us. We'd love to talk to them.
So I know, Jonathan, that you have a passion for boxing, for this business aspect of it. What do you hate the most about it?
Oh, man, this can be a little bit of a grimy business, man. For years, and I hate to say it this way, but out in Vegas, man, the mobs ran this business, and the business in itself hasn't been known for having the most upstanding businessmen. And so what we wanted to be able to do is really try to bring some integrity back to the sport. I applaud guys like De La Hoya, who, despite any personal issues he may have outside of the ring and outside of boxing, him and his organization have done a great job of, maintaining a level of integrity in the sport. And I think that's what we need to get back to. I'm mentored by Howard Humphrey Wheeler, who's probably one of the greatest NASCAR promoters and promoters in general. Who back in the 80s, when he ran Charlotte Motor Speedway, produced and promoted several big name fights, done a couple fights with Showtime with Bob Abrams and that guy. And so I'm blessed to have someone like him as a mentor in this business. And some of the things that we talk about all the time, man, is just, making this business honest, treating fighters like fighters,